But at the end of the day, you still raise 2.5 million in a year from private individuals, not institution. These are people that you've built relationship with. And I've stressed this, and I was like, guys, like you want to get to a point where people are throwing money at you and people trust you because you've taken the time to build that relationship. Because once you do, you won. You won. I'll be talking to Briana today, who is a member of the private mastermind group that I have, Elite Capital Raisers Pro, and we're just gonna dive into like what she was doing before she got into the program, her success, and one of the big things I'm so excited for her to share is her first raise of over 100,000. Which I think if you had told her that a couple months ago that she'll be able to raise 100,000, she'd be like, "No way! When is that gonna happen? Like what?" But what I also her story is very interesting because she's doing entrepreneurship full time. She is a mom of two, and she had found me on Instagram, and one of her main concern was, Kalisha, I don't have much time to give. I only have 2 hours. Is this enough? Like, can I do this? And as much as she was very nervous, she also took a leap of faith by just trusting the process and just going in, and she dived in. So I'll hand over to Bree just to tell us a quick synopsis of like what were you doing, like I'm not even what you were doing before. What made you decide that you want to be a capital raiser, you want to be a connector?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kalisha. I appreciate your time today and excited to share this because I've made it where I am now. Like you said, raising my first 100,000, which was huge for me because of everything that I learned through your course and through your community. And I have learned about you in Gator. So I joined Gator because I wanted to go into like the money side of things with real estate.
Mhm.
And I had heard about this connector role and I was curious about it because it really fit my personality. Like I love meeting people. I love the idea of like connecting and like building bridges between people. Um, it just really fits my personality. And so you had an interview with Jade that I watched, and you were basically like the epitome of what it means to be a good connector. Listen to that, watch that, and I loved everything you explained about what you did, how you did it, your relationship. Like I'm big on relationships,
Mhm.
and if you're familiar with Gator, Gator is mostly focused on very transactional type things like lending on EMD double closes, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just more transactional than relational, I would say,
Mhm.
versus being a connector. And so that's really what got me into it. Is it fits my personality. It's something that I would enjoy doing, I think, but I wasn't sure. I mean, I was like, no idea what I wanted to do. So I connected with you, like you said, asked you because I'm in the season of life where I've got two toddlers, almost four, almost 2 year old, which is a full time job in and of itself. So I'm like, I only have 2 hours, and I need you to be really honest with me. If with those 2 hours, I could actually be successful in this. And
Mhm.
you said yes, and I took that leap of faith, like you said, and that was in September. And in December, I connected with a borrower. And in January, I found the PML for that borrower. And in February, early February, it closed. And yeah, I raised my first 100,000, which to me, 100. When I met that borrower and he said that's what he needed, I was like, I don't think I should say yes because that number is huge. And I don't know anybody that has that amount, but sure, let's go for it. And I just did what you laid out, which is, you vet them, you ask for said documents, you do the pitch deck, you market it out, social media, email, you go to events, and then you'll find your PML. I'm like, there's no way. And it happened. So here we are. And yeah, so that is how I've gotten to where I am right now.
You said something where I think a lot of persons have this issue. I had it at the beginning where it's 100,000. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of money. I don't know anyone. Were there any other challenges that you were experiencing that you think was preventing you from doing this raise for this borrower?
Another thing that I would say was preventing me from, I don't know if like do, I think just believing that I could do the raise,
Hmm.
um, was like, and I told you this before, and this was really impactful to me, that my schedule, my schedule. That was like the thing that was always in the back of my mind. There was one call that we were on that you said it has nothing to do with the kids. And that like really hit me because I'm like, it has nothing to do with the kids. And it's so true because now that I'm like looking back, I did the best that I could with the time that I had in the season of life that I'm in. And I fully believe that it's having the intention that brings things full circle.
Yeah.
And that's what my story was with that raise. That's what my story is with the second raise that I did. I'm closing on my second one tomorrow. Similar type story where you put your best foot forward, you set out
Hmm.
your intention, you know what you're looking for, you connect with people to see what it is they have that you need, what it is you have that they need,
Yeah.
and boom, things come together. So I think it's the lot of thinking that I have to find the PML, I have to do this by myself, like I have. And when I realize that it's not an alone thing,
Hmm.
it's a collaboration of meeting the right people, having the right conversations, and constantly communicating what it is you do, what it is you're looking for. People will
Well,
people will come with the thing that you need, and that is
yeah.
exactly what it was. So that was one thing, is the thinking about my kids, thinking that it was just be by myself doing this. Those are, I think, the biggest ones, because after I did it, it
Would you say as well that, so going through it, what were some of the resources that, I know like you get the accountability and stuff like that, but what were some of the resources to help you to kind of push through to get to where you are now?
the accountability calls are huge for me. I mean, I look forward to those calls every week because it resets the mind frame from
Hmm.
whatever happened the 7 days prior after the last call. The next call will reset your mind frame of like, okay, these things happened. Let's chat about it together. And then like my perspective changes, like the solution, problem solving part of the brain comes in, and the oh, this person, encountered the same thing and they found that solution. Let me try that as well. So in the group, I'll give you this one example. This was very recent. So I searched something in the Skool community, and I wasn't even intending on finding this, but they were they were talking about someone had had a situation where they had a multiple, and was it multiple connectors on a
Mm.
deal, and I had not had that before. And they were talking about how to like structure it and split a fee, or put the raise it through the raise of the total amount. Anyway, I can't fully remember what the post was, but it correlated with the deal that I'm working on right now in this present time. That post was in November.
Hmm.
And so it's just having that community where you can have endless information,
Yeah.
no matter when it was, a year ago, 5 months ago, last week, doesn't matter. It's all compiled there. So when I go through a similar situation or something, there is a whole, it's not just you, Khalifa.
Yeah.
Like you put it together, but it's not just you. It's like, it's a community. Like we're all learning together. We're all having deals that look similar to each other, and we can borrow other people's creative
Mhm.
solutions based on their own experience that can actually benefit me,
Yeah.
with what I'm working on right now. So your group, I mean, everything you have, I say this to everybody that I talk to about raising capital, like you lay everything out. All I have to do is just read it, watch it, do it.
And
Read
follow.
it, watch it, do it. That's literally what I did. And then ask you
Literally.
questions. And the community is great for that, because if you have a question, you do type it in right there. And if you don't answer, someone else will,
Mm-hmm.
or message you on Skool. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so again, the collaboration aspect is, you don't have to know it all. I didn't have to know it all to raise my first 100,000. I literally learned it as I went,
And just to give you guys heads
which
up,
was
like
very
this is
stressful.
it's very, and listen, like this is also some persons will go through it. Where you think about when you want to raise capital, like, okay, I need to know every single thing, every step along the way. But I want to share if you're watching this, and even with Brenna, I told her multiple times, like, yes, everything is there. You know the steps, everything to do. That is okay. But a lot of times for your first deal, once you're going through it, you forget about everything because you're doing it for the first time. This was me doing my first investment deal for the first time. I read all the books, I listened all the podcasts. Going through it, it was completely different. Likewise with my first raise, I knew everything to do. I knew it. But going through it, if I didn't have that person to be like, hey, I'm going through this right now, what is the next step? And that's something that you kept reaching out to me, like, what's the next step? What's the next step? But at some point, I had to be like, Bree, go figure it out. Like, go make the mistake. Like I was telling you, I want you to screw up throughout the process, because then if you screw up, you learn better that way. And then because then you have the solution, and the next time something like that should happen, you'll be like, oh no, I remember I screwed up here and this was the solution, instead of me telling you every single thing to do. And I remember at one point, like, she was messaging me, and I started like responding, and I was like, you know what, no, I'm gonna let her figure it out. And by not responding, and she did, she literally figured it out. Talk about that moment, because
I was low key mad at you. She's leaving me abandoned, figuring this out all by myself. Um, that reminds me though of another thing, like another mental hurdle that I've had, and I think a lot of people experience this, is the fear of failure. And I don't know if it's the way we've been programmed in school or in the job, having a job, the structure, that like someone's there to hold your hand and tell you what to do. We can just get used to that. What?
yeah.
And it's comfortable because then we don't make mistakes and we just do things perfectly and we get,
Mhm.
oh yeah, she didn't make a mistake, right? And so I had that going into this, and I think the way you handled it is like you're going to be a great parent one day, because how that is exactly how you raise children, like
Oh wow.
humans that could be like problem solvers. And think about it: if you solve your kid, if I were to solve my children as toddlers, their problems, time, and
True.
they will never get the confidence to just do it on their own. And I've had
Mhm.
experience like that with my kids, where I'll be like, you can do it. Like, we've done
Mhm.
this before. Try. You can do it. And that was basically how what the dynamic was with us, and it forced me to kind of just try.
Mhm.
And if you fail, you will be fine. And I was, and I learned there were things in that experience that I now took into my second raise, that I'm okay. This time, this is what I'm going to do to make my life easier, to make it more organized, to make it better. And I'm creating that it's my own system, because I have my own personality. I am building my own business. We do the same thing, yes, but I am different
Yep.
from you, and you are
Yep.
different from me, and we're working with different borrowers, and deals aren't cookie cutter. Like, they're all
Mhm.
different, which is why reading everything, going through the whole course, and like just digesting all the information, that's great. But when you go and actually do a deal, it's not cookie cutter. Like, things are gonna be unique, because
Yeah.
people are unique, the conversations are unique. And so that was what that experience was like, was just full of fear,
Mhm.
but then it, like, you overcome it. Like, you
Yeah.
go over it and you're like, okay, that wasn't that bad. I did it. It
Mhm.
closed. We're all happy,
Yeah.
and now we've learned, and now we're like building it to the other deals that we're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
You just gotta,
scary, but it was good.
and it's something that I stress all the time, and I'm love that you're now seeing it, where I'm like, guys, just do the deal. Go through, that is how you become better at structuring deals. That's how you become better at raising capital. That's how you become creative, because you're doing it, you're pushing through. And you, because you know that you have a time, a deadline to meet, you try to get very creative. Then you talk to other persons who are raising capital, you're hearing how they're structuring deal, and you can use that to structure future deals. So definitely doing deals will help. One of the biggest thing I want to ask you, I don't think I did, was how did it feel when you got that wire?
Oh my God. I could not believe it. It was like, oh, it actually works. And this is why I have done so many different business ventures and
Hold on, hold 1 second, Brianna. So this wire that I'm talking about, guys, is that what Brianna did was she had an investor who wanted capital, and she got paid for introducing the borrower to a private money lender. So she basically bridged the gap by connecting a need and a want, right?
Mhm.
So, and she got paid for it. So that's what we're talking about here, how she felt when she finally got her check or that wire sent to her account.
Yeah, my connector fee. Yep. Because that happens at closing. So
Yeah.
once everything, goes to closings, documents are signed, flyers get sent or gets the funds that they need for their project, and then I get my fee for having, facilitated all of that. And so
Mhm.
it was really cool. It was like I genuinely felt so proud of myself, grateful to you, um, grateful to God because I literally could not believe did it with the little time and little everything that I had started off this journey thinking so limited, so limited. Like,
Yeah.
I only have 2 hours. I don't, all these things. And we all go through it. When you do
Mhm.
something for the very first time, it's normal. It's
Yeah.
normal. And so when you actually do it, you you see that your capacity is greater than what you think it actually
Mhm.
is. That's what my
Totally.
experience was. And you can do anything you set your mind to. It's all about intention. All about intention is, basically what kind of came from all of that. But I definitely realized that I severely undercharged. The mental toll that this mental and emotional toll that this deal had on me was crazy. But now
And
I'm like more confident when I charge my fee because I know what it takes, and it's not. I'm not here to just like connect and not no. Like I'm giving it my all, and not only like I literally wake up in the middle of my sleep like I got to raise money for that deal. Like it literally wakes me up because I am committed to helping this borrower. I am committed to
Mhm.
helping this client. I am committed to doing a good job and following through and making it a good experience. And that's a heavy thing to like carry,
Yeah.
when you're learning, like when you don't actually know what you're doing, you're just kind of figuring it out. It's like, okay, hope I'm just doing the
But
best that
you
I can.
said something that's so important. You said, now I'm confident to charge whatever my fee is because now you've gone through it. You see the value that you're bringing, you see the amount of work. So now, if someone's like, hey, your connector fee is too high, you can be like, we're just not a good fit because you know how much time and effort that you're putting into it. And this is what I always say, like, there's no right connector fee, right amount to charge.
Mhm.
It's all gonna depends on you knowing within yourself what time that you're and effort that you're putting in and what value that you're bringing into that transaction, because I can bring a completely different value, and based on what I've taught you, you add something else to the entire process, right, to make it way better for your investor, for that borrower. But now I love the fact that you're like, I realize that I undercharge, and now you'll be able to know, okay, for this amount of money, this is what I'm going to charge, or this amount of money, that's what I'm going to charge, because at the end of the day, you know what you're bringing to the table. You are bringing value. Because if it wasn't for you, that investor couldn't have found a hundred thousand. They
Thank you.
couldn't. They literally
They
couldn't.
wouldn't have. They wouldn't. And that's why I'm like, dang, I really undercharged. You got a steal for
Yeah.
which I'm not like dwelling on it because the reason I undercharge is because I didn't believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've never done this before. A hundred
Yeah.
grand is a crazy amount. I don't think I can do it. I'm gonna just charge, this little amount because I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in myself. Okay, well I raise 100 grand. Do you think I doubt myself now? No. No, now you tell me you need 33. Okay. I know. Now I'm cocky. No,
No,
but
I love it.
it's not just on like the amount that you raise, it's also like the risk that like for example, the one that I'm closing on tomorrow, the borrower, solid guy, but he's based in Australia. And so to me, I'm like, oof, great deal. I know someone that has the funds, but you're in Australia. The risk, and so I charged more for his 33 grand than I did for the 100,
See,
which
there you
felt
go.
kind of wrong a little bit, like oof, but it's not. I don't solely base it on the amount I raise. It's all these different factors, like about
Factors.
the borrower. Are they low in experience? Are they? Um, there's so many different things. It's like
Yeah.
the risk and like what kind of a headache are we going to deal with this one? You
Yeah.
know.
That's it. And the thing is too, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's something I always say. It's like when you're connecting, there's so many different factors that you have to look into. And also you got to look in, like as you said, which is a fantastic that you did that for the second deal with the borrower. Where are they located? Because now you're looking on the deal. If that borrower is in Australia, what happens if the deal goes south? What measures are put in place if there's a high risk that this deal may go south and now I'm stuck in this deal. Maybe I was supposed to be in this deal for 6 months, but now I'm stuck in this deal for 12 months.
Mhm.
So people don't think about that when you're being a connector. Like you're not just connecting. If the loan term is for 7 months, 8 months, and this deal takes another 6 months, you're in it. You're
Mhm.
committed to it. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your lender gets their money back.
That's like the most important job. That's like the number one. That's why connector is kind of like a. I don't really like it. I don't really like the term. You're literally a consultant because you're problem solving
Yeah. Oh,
for their problem, your property, your
yeah.
money. I'm problem solving for it. You
That's
know,
it. Oh,
um, which is fun. I'm not saying like it's fun. I love that, but that is where the value comes in. It's not just like, hey, guy, meet this guy, or borrower, meet this person with the funds, sayonara.
yeah.
No, like you're stuck. You're in that until the private money lender gets their money back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that's like. I haven't made it that far yet. A little fearful about it, just because it's the ability, courage to have those hard conversations, which you have plenty, which is why I'm not super afraid because I'll just bombard you with texts again. Like, what do I do with this guy? So you've done it before, so your experience, and that's the thing too. It's like when I joined this group, it wasn't because I just wanted to join another group and spend another,
Mm-hmm.
more money that I've already spent in another course
Yeah.
and now spending on it. It's not just because I wanted to spend more money. It was because I wanted to learn from someone who's already doing it, who's already successful, so that I can learn it the right way from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like having a coach, like a personal trainer, things like that. Like that is what I invested in because
Yeah.
I want to build a good reputation from the start. I want to do it well, and I want to do this for the long run. This isn't like
Yeah.
a quick, like, let me get 5 grand here, 5 grand here, and then no, this is like
You're
this is
building.
relationships. Yeah, these are like the relationships I'm building right now for the next year are going to be the people I do deals with for years to come. Is the hope, is the goal.
And
And so you want to start off good.
another win that I'm also very proud of you for doing before you got to this point was social media. One of the big challenges we had, and I told you, and I've told the group multiple times, is that when you're raising capital, because it's a relationship basis as well, people are going to research who you are. When you meet a random person asking for money, they're gonna either, if you guys are in the same mastermind, they're gonna look for you. They're gonna look on your Facebook. They're gonna look on your LinkedIn. They're gonna put your name on Google to see what information pops up because they
Mm-hmm.
want to know who you are, that you're doing what you say that you're doing. And one of your big things was, I don't like social media. I don't want to post. And the fact that now you're comfortable posting, I mean, you're not 100% there, but you are not where you were in September, October. Like you're comfortably now posting on social media and on stories. I'm like, look at this girl.
Well, Iffy, I don't even recognize her. It's true. And that is like one of those things where, like, I don't know that
Mhm.
how impactful you have been. with your
Aw.
decision to, because I think I heard you say that you were, I mean, the decision to start Elite Capital Raisers was, I would imagine, was kind of like a scary thing, that's a scary thing to do. And I think about myself like, oh my God, that all the fear that would just suddenly hit you, and then you did it. And the like the little, I say little because they have been very, like the mindset improvement stuff. It seems little, and it probably seems little maybe to you from looking outside in, but to me, it has been humongous, humongous impact. And I don't know that you realize that. I don't know that we realize when we do something that we think it was like, oh yeah, I made that decision, and whatever, that was months, years ago, but the impact is happening like right now. Like you're currently impacting me, and I'm sure so many people. And it's not just business for me. The impact for me wasn't just, it was like the belief, the self belief, the overcoming. Like you start off with this fear, and then you tell somebody this fear, and then they tell you something back, and then you do what they say, and then your mindset changes.
Mhm.
It's like, how is it that words have such power? How is it that communicating with someone on every Monday afternoon can have such an impact on you?
Mhm.
How? And it does. It has an immense impact because those little actions, those little mindset shifts allow now me to make these like moves that were so scary to me.
And now it's
But
impacting.
I'm like building that confidence and that belief and excitement the excitement that I could actually do this. Because where was I in September?
Mhm.
Kalisha, I have 2 kids. I have 2 hours. I literally don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
But you said you can. And so I believed you. I
Mhm.
didn't believe in me, but I believed you. And I was like, hey, whatever. I'm just going to take her course and see what the hell happens. And in January, literally September, October, November, December, yeah,
Mhm.
4 months, things start happening.
Yeah.
The borrower, the deal, the PML come together. And in February, I close. It was
That's the
like,
thing. And
what?
the fact
Less than
that
6 months, less than
a
six
lot,
months,
exactly.
what you were able to do with your words, with your example, with your belief, all these things, like, which I know you probably are like, this is just what I do on Mondays. This is just what I do with having a community. But the impact,
Mhm.
it's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. And I'm very grateful. So
Oh, that
thank
means a
you.
lot. And that was not planned, guys. What she said, that was not.
She did not pay me.
But also to know, like, before we even got here, we had this huge challenge in the group in December. And the challenge was to for different members of the group to, like, on a daily basis, to share what their wins were, to share what obstacles that they were facing each day. It was like their your personal journal entry to keep accountable. That way, you get to this point, you can look back and see how much progress you have made. What were some of the issues that you were facing? And Brianna actually won that challenge in December because she constantly was posting the good, the bad, the ugly. She was just sharing her entire journey. And because she did that for the month of December, she won that challenge. And I think I need to bring back that challenge because someone has asked me about it too, if I'm going to bring it back. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to bring it back. I'm not sure when. But Brianna won that. And it's just to show you, like, from her deciding, like, as much as she's scared, but still kind of putting one step forward each day to be like, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do the work, I'm gonna put in the work. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, I don't have the confidence, but I'm still gonna try and do it. And she did. It's those small steps, you doing the challenge with social media, you showing up for December, it's those little steps that you make. It's getting you, it got to where you are today. And once you continue to make those small steps, you're you just gotta keep elevating. That's it. Like, I
That's
know
right.
a year from now you're gonna be like, wait, was I like, what?
Just thinking from September to now is like mind blowing.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
literally mind blowing to me. But it just goes to show that surrounding yourself with the right people, encourage you, that help you set goals, that tell you the right thing, not what you need, what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. It's a constant mindset shift, and I think that's what makes like these kind of pursuits so exciting. Is that God, your mind is literally changing. Like success used to be this like foreign, like crazy thing, and now it's like, oh, Pace said this in one of his calls that I listened to, that you surround yourself with the right people and success becomes the standard. It's no longer like this far off
Uh,
dream that it was just out there for the right
yeah,
person that was lucky. No, it's like, no, it's the standard.
yeah,
And you raising, what was it? You raised 2 million in your first year, 2 million. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
that can become the standard. Like it shouldn't be like this, oh my God, 100,000. Oh my God, no, it's like 100,000,
yeah.
2 million for
Two
your first
million.
year is the
That's the thing.
stand.
And I talk about this too with tracking stuff. That's how I can confidently say like I raised over 2 million in my first year because I kept tracking it. Now, if you had asked me to raise 2 million right now, like before, I'm like, I don't know one person with 2 million. That's just how our brain works. We don't know this one person with the 2 million. But no, imagine if you do multiple deals. You know, someone with 100,000 here, someone with 200,000 here, someone with $50,000 here. You can do all of that in 1 year. And that's exactly what I did. It was just multiple deals. I think a lot of times we just think about one, we don't know that one person with that amount of money. And we just think that there's only one way how to raise that 2.5 million. But there's multiple ways to raise. It could be one person, 10 person, it could be multiple deals. But at the end of the day, you still raise 2.5 million in a year from private individuals, not institution. These are people that you've built relationship with. And I've stressed this, and I was like, guys, like you want to get to a point where people are throwing money at you and people trust you because you've taken the
Yeah.
time to build that relationship. Because once you do, you won. You've won once you've taken the time to build that relationship.
And that is the dream. That's the goal. That is why I'm here, to learn from you, because you are the goat of private raising, and had those relations. It's again, it to me, it's all about the relationships, because you, again, going back to like the impact that our actions have that maybe we're not aware of because maybe people are not good at like expressing that, but the people that you use their money to like deploy to to projects that are continually coming back, and they have that trust, and that you've probably helped them in huge ways financially, like in a way that they would never have imagined to be able
Yeah.
to accomplish on their own by just doing stocks and 401k and retirement stuff. You've changed their life.
Hmm.
And you shared a story of this gentleman that had this like huge portfolio that he wanted you to just go and invest his money because he wanted to step back from his position at work so he can spend more time with family, so he can start I mean, this is what people dream
No, yeah.
to be able to accomplish. They just don't know how to get there unless they meet someone like you who can help them. Put the thing is putting your money to work. Like, do you want to work forever? No.
No.
Put your money to work.
Yeah.
Put your money to, and it's that in itself is such a mindset thing. And we have, as capital raisers, I think, a very unique role in being able to educate that part of financial literacy, of like,
Hmm.
you're never going to get wealthy saving your money. Like, that's what I come from. That's the
Yeah.
kind of culture and mindset I come from. Like, work hard until the day you
You
die and
die.
save
Hmm.
all your pennies so that you can retire well. I'm sorry, but that's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Not now. It's not. And I don't want to work until I'm 60, like that hard. Like, I want to work hard when I'm young and when I
Hmm.
can. And then I want to start slowing down, because
Yeah.
why? Because now my money is working for me.
Yeah.
And that is the role, I think, as capital raisers, that we can have the impact we can have on other people's lives who have never been exposed to this before,
Hmm.
but they're open to learning. That's the difference, is the
Yes.
openness to learn. Unfortunately, my people rare. But my hope is that I can, with time and building my own
Brand.
what's my brand,
Hmm.
that I can have that role where it's like, put your money to work, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put your money to work. And that's the thing with social media. People will search me on there, and why I need to be more active on there. But I've made improvements, which is good. But the brand
The brand
is
is,
powerful, and just realizing that your impact is not just raising money and helping borrowers do their flips or whatever. It's you're changing people's lives
you know,
because they're making money in a way that they would have never otherwise.
you literally just said that, and I needed to hear that today. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
I'm glad I
I
was
needed,
able to.
I needed to hear that because sometimes you're
I
so
think we
lost.
forget. I think we forget the like the why,
Mm-hmm.
and then it can
Mm-hmm.
become like, ugh, I
Yeah.
don't want to raise this. Ugh,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. Ugh, I
Yes.
don't want to go to this event. But then it's like you meet that one mom who's, got 100,000 in her savings, but she has no idea about investing.
Mm-hmm.
She's just kind of like the person that just kind of stacks money away and is, hey, let's get a better mindset around money. Let's make that 100,000, 500,000.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's break it down.
change people's lives. Change people's lives. So,
Mm-mm. What's one before we wrap up? What's one or two? It doesn't matter. Um, like tips or advice that you would give to someone who is on the fence about raising capital, or being a connector because they don't know the how, or they're afraid that they may lose someone else's money.
okay, so the first one is they don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that one's easy. Connect with people that are doing it and ask the questions.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Before
Mm-hmm.
I was in your group, I connected with people in Gator who did a connector role, and I asked, "What's it like? What do you do? What's kind of like what are the kind of the things that you do to to get an understanding, a concept of what I would have to do to see if I
Mm-hmm.
would like it." So that's what I did. The fear of losing people's money is ask the question of how do you mitigate risk? Have you ever lost a PML's money?
Yes.
How did you deal with that? How would you advise me to to not do that? What's your
Mm-hmm.
advice to not do that?
Yeah.
Ask the questions and then start.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't believe in yourself,
Do it.
even if you don't believe in it, just start. And if you and you'll and I think you said this to me. Oh, someone said this to you. Yes, someone said this to you. Do it for 90 days, but like be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so talk to a connector, a capital raiser that is doing, with Kalisha. I'm going to use because Kalisha's who I connected with. Connect with Kalisha. She's going to give you all of the resources you need to know how to raise private capital. Whatever those steps are, do it and do it consistently for 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
If at the 90-day mark, you realize you don't like it, you don't want to do it, then you move on.
Then you
And
move
now
on
you know you didn't. Now you know that you don't like it, but you won't know
until you try.
unless you try.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say. And so I did that. That was my September. I did it consistent 90 days, and not only did I learn that I liked it, but that I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice. And for
What's
anyone that would rather learn, not, I'm someone that cannot and does not like to learn by myself. Get around the right people. Get around the people that raise money because that's going to be your support. That's going to be your encouragement. That's going to be your help when you need it. But build
mm-hmm.
that before you need it.
Yeah. Facts. What's next for Brianna in 6 months? What's the
What's
goal?
next for Brianna? Ooh, I mean, I would love to raise 2 million like you did my first year. So I already raised. I mean, I'm already at like 150. So I would say okay. I'm not gonna put a number, but I will say that my actual goal, that I've thought of and really want to be intentional with is building a list of 500 private money lenders, individual people that I've connected with in one way, shape, or form who want to invest in real estate, like who want to put their money to work in a project that I can market my projects to. I want to build a list of 500 people that I have a relationship with and get to a point where I'm doing like email marketing, where it's educational email marketing. I'll have my projects that I'm marketing, but I also want to like put resources on, learning about, the tax benefits of investing in like educational type of email marketing.
Yeah.
So that's my goal with that. And then borrowers, a list of 100 borrowers, borrowers that I've worked with already, that I like, that I connect. Just my goal is relationships,
Yeah.
relationships, because a year two, I want it to be like We're just
Constantly.
cycling through, just cycling through the same. I don't want to keep dating, is what I keep telling people. I don't want to date forever. I want to marry the right ones and just do deals with them because
Yeah.
that's trust, that's how that's the kind of deals you want to do. You want to do deals with where there's trust,
Hmm.
both from all directions, borrower to connector, connector to borrower, connector to PML, PML to connector, PML to borrower, borrower.
Yeah.
It's a triangle. There's got to be trust. If there's not trust, then I would imagine that's where the headaches begin because
Hmm.
the questioning, the
And nervousness,
tension, the
freaking out.
when there's no trust. But if there's trust, shit hit the fan. Let's problem solve, team. Let's problem solve. That is my dream. That is my goal. I will say for the next 6 months is just to
So
focus on those relationships.
we'll definitely have to check back in the next 6 months, 6 months to a year to see where you
Yeah,
stand with that. She's like freaking out now, but she's like, yeah. No,
gotta put it in my calendar.
but no, but this has been super good. I'm grateful that you took the time and shared your feedback. I know we were supposed to do this like 2 months ago, but listen, nothing happens before it's time. And I'm super, I've said this to you multiple times that I'm super proud of you because you've took everything that I've given you and you've implemented it. You didn't waste my time. I was that person like, I don't care if you come in a mastermind and you just sit there, but I don't want you to waste your time and I don't want you to waste my time. And you
Hmm.
didn't, you got the resources, you reached out, everything that I've told you, you've implemented. And that's what I like. And you always ask a ton of questions. You're never afraid to ask questions. And I think that has given you the confidence to go out there and raise money and even to raise more money because you open your mouth. You're not afraid to say, this is what I need help with. This is the question that I have. And you take the information that you get and you implement it. Not a lot of people do that. So I would say you should be super proud of yourself. Be proud of how far that you've come, what you've done. You're on your second deal back to back. You are now on a momentum. Keep that going because you be surprised where you can get to in the next 6 months to a year. So just keep going. And I'm super proud
Thank
of
you so
you.
much. I
Well,
appreciate you.
all right, no problem. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.